Hi, welcome back to the Frugal Life with Mercedes. Today I want to talk about something that I'm not really sure I want to talk about, and I don't know that I'm ready to. Um, but I think in order for me to move on with this particular subject, it's time to talk about it, I guess. Um, my channel is a frugal channel. I am a frugal person. Um, but as you guys have guessed from the title, I am in debt. And it's something that I'm embarrassed about and I carry a lot of shame. Um, but I think it's time to talk about it. Um, I could be one of those YouTubers that just pretends like everything is great and or be another YouTuber who does clickbait and is drama, and I don't really want to be either. I'm not, no shade to anybody. That's just not the way I want my channel to be. I want my channel to be full disclosure as much as possible. And I think when you don't talk about something, it just brings more shame to the situation. Um, Another thing is, like, my mom watches the YouTube channel and she doesn't know that I have credit card debt. And yeah, it's embarrassing. Um, and I'm going to talk about the credit card debt a little bit and how that happened and all that. And none of what I'm going to say is an excuse. Obviously, it's not like my card got stolen and I don't know how that happened. Um, Basically, there was a point in time when I wasn't really in the right state of mind. And I've talked about it before when I was going through my breakup. 5.5 years ago, before I met my husband, I was going through a really bad breakup. And basically, my long term partner left me. And I didn't have a plan. So I used the credit card to get my own apartment and to basically take care of myself for a while. I did have a job at the time, but um, I wasn't making all that much money. Um, and it basically boils down to I hadn't really planned ahead. I had planned that me and this person were going to be together, all that kind of stuff. So I had never had a credit card ever in my life. Mind you, I was like 24, so not that that's old or young. It's just that's how old I was. So I had some student loans and I got a credit card, and I was being really wise with it, and I was only using it for essentials. Um, then um, then I was in a car accident and my car was totaled, and I actually had to use the credit card to put a down payment on the car, and it just turned into this big thing. So yeah. So then I had the car and the student loans and the credit card, and then I got married and uh had a couple other, like, another unexpected move, and all that kind of stuff. And again, none of that's excuses. I didn't have to use the credit cards. I could have figured something else out, although there were some of those situations that I felt like there was no other. you know Not everyone has, not everyone can call their parents, an uncle, whoever, and say, give me however many thousands of dollars or hundreds of dollars. And that's not my situation, and I don't blame anybody for that. I am the type that even if I had someone like that in my life that had uh, disposable income to give me, I'm not really the type to go and ask for it. I try to figure things out on my own. So um so yeah, so that's that. And about 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, I paid off my student loans. So that's been gone for a while. I don't owe very, I'll have my car paid off this August. That is if I don't make any extra payments to it. And then I've got the credit card. Um, but my goal with the no spend challenge and the pantry challenge and all that kind of stuff is to pay it off. And as much as I love volunteering at the food pantry, and I have volunteered at the food pantry before, whether I was getting food or whatever, you know, that's why I talk about I'm using the food pantry right now to get food when I volunteer. And then that money goes towards my debt instead of groceries. Now, I'm still buying groceries. You guys see my grocery hauls. But I try to be really mindful of what I'm getting, even though I always am. So you can be frugal and still be in debt because things happen and bad choices happen and life happens and chaos happens. And the only thing that you can do is learn from those mistakes. And I've never been late on a payment. I always pay extra. I haven't used the credit card in probably a year. And I've just been like paying on it, but I haven't been as aggressive as I should be. And part of that is just like working on myself. Well, actually, that's not completely true. It hasn't been a year since I've used it. I use it usually about once a month. It's linked to my therapist. So another reason why the credit card debt is so high is because there was a point when I've always been fortunate that I've had health insurance, but there was a point where my health insurance didn't cover therapy or counseling, and I have to have my therapy. It's not negotiable. I have to. For myself, I just have to. And so there were times when I was in therapy multiple times a week for my own protection and the protection of those around me. And therapy is not cheap. And so I do have my therapist linked to my credit card. And that is only because therapy is one of those non-negotiables for me. For some people, it might be their one dinner out a week, or they're getting their nails done or whatever. But for me, my therapy is completely non-negotiable. So I have to make sure that I get that. And so that way I always have it. It's linked there. And then eventually I'll have it unlinked, and I'm only go to therapy once every 4 to 6 weeks now. But if I start getting not in a good mental place again, then obviously I would have to start going more often, and all that kind of stuff. So my goal this year is to get out of debt and to hopefully never get into credit card debt ever again. That was a big mistake and a repeated mistake, and I kind of just wanted to say, like, and it can happen to anybody. And I think there's a lot of judgment out there. But at the end of the day, you haven't walked in my shoes. You don't know the situations I've been in, just like I don't know the situations you've been in. And the only thing we can do is learn from those mistakes and turn it around. And hopefully I can help somebody else. So I'm going to do debt pay down with me's and different things like that. And I've always been frugal. I've always been very frugal. But you can be frugal and have debt. I mean, it happens. So that's just something else. And this is, really vulnerable for me and really hard for me to talk about. But I'm moving on from it, and I'm working, and, and that's all I can do. And I want it gone, and I can do that. I can. And it's not going to be easy, but it didn't build up overnight, and it's not going to go away overnight. So, but thank you guys. And, yeah, so So thank you guys for joining me, and I really appreciate all your guys' support. So please comment down below, and thank you guys for hearing me out. Until next time, bye.